Hey guys, I'm Joe. This is the Rebels Advocate. This video I'm getting ready to make, I've tried to make several times before, and I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know how to do it, so I'm just going to come out with it best I can, and that'll be it. I don't really have a topic. It's just more of a personal update, an apology, because it's been a long time since I posted a video, and I'm sorry for that. I'm gonna try to do better. But last few months has been pretty difficult. I went through something unlike anything I've really ever dealt with in my life. And I've been through some rough shit in my time, but this is just something very different than anything I've dealt with. I've had problems with stress, anxiety, maybe depression, things like that. Probably most of my life I've dealt with on and off. But recently it kind of took a different turn. And in the form of panic attacks and just, because I know stress, anxiety, things like that are things all of us deal with. Everybody has got, I haven't met anybody that doesn't have some stress in their life, so I've always tried to not complain too much about that. But this took a turn where I've had now multiple panic attacks at work. The first one, I didn't even realize I had a panic attack until the second one I had. And then, I kind of recognized that for what it was. And then looking back, the first one I had, I left in the middle of a shift because I literally thought I was having a heat stroke. That's all I could think of, because that particular night I was extremely hot. And I'd been moved to a different location that I don't normally work. I was in a pantsuit that didn't breathe. I was sweating, my entire body, even my pants were soaked, and I was sweating so much. And I went to lunch, everything seemed fine. And I put my phone up there to call my wife. When my wife answered the phone, I just started shaking, uncontrollably, and I couldn't speak. I was crying, and I was sick to my stomach. And so naturally I just thought, well, where I was so hot, this is the hottest I'd gotten, and in a long time. I was like, well, I'm trying to have some heat stroke or something. So I ended up leaving because of that. And then a month or so later, I go into work, and I just broke down. I just literally couldn't. I couldn't stay there. And it was the same effect, just shaking, sick to my stomach. I almost couldn't speak. I was breaking down crying. It was a difficult time. And then I had another episode where I went in and ended up leaving early again. But so the second time it happened, the first time that I realized, okay, this is a panic attack of some sort, or whatever it is. And I realized this is affecting, my life, in a real way, to where you have to leave work. I knew at that point I needed help. So I did, I reached out. My job has a program where you can make a call, get some help. And so I'm seeing a therapist, I'm seeing a doctor, working on it, getting on track, getting hopefully the help that I need to get back in line. Because it's, I have an appreciation for anyone who deals with this kind of thing, that's dealt with this their whole life. It's hard to understand it until it hits you. And sometimes what makes it difficult is I don't know what's wrong, because I'm not like what you would consider. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a depressed person most of the time. Like, most of the time I'm pretty happy. When I'm with my wife and daughter, I'm like the happiest guy in the world. Most of the time I'm laughing, joking, cutting up, you know. And so that was the hard part, is not knowing where it's coming from. And then I thought, I think I have anxiety when I'm away from my family. Maybe that's why it hits me at work more than anywhere else. But then it started hitting me even at home. Even at times when I felt like I should be fine, when I feel like I'm in my safe space, so to speak, like where I'm the happiest. And I think that was scary. Because I told my wife I felt like I was losing control at that point. I felt like before, as bad as it is to leave work, you felt like you had someplace safe to run. If it gets too bad, I can run here, and like I can run home and it'll go away. But when it starts hitting you at home, there's nowhere to run. And then I had one day in particular, because I think for most people, suicide is something that most people can't grasp. Most people can't understand what would bring somebody to do that. Especially, you'll hear people say they seemed happy, or they seemed, they had a good life. Maybe we can understand it if the person has absolutely nothing, but if somebody seems to, have a decent life, why would you take your life? Or it's such a selfish thing to do, or this and that. And I've probably been a little bit like that myself. Like, not so much to call somebody selfish, but to just, I can't understand how things would get to the point that seemed to be your answer. And I think what scared me the most is I had a day where I had a moment where I wasn't suicidal myself. I wasn't thinking about, it was nothing like that, but it was like a moment where I understood. I understood it. Because it was, you feel like you're out, or for me, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but for me, I was walking around in this bubble, like scared to death somebody was gonna pop it, like just anxious in a situation where I normally wouldn't be anxious, just so withdrawn and so scared because there was nowhere to go to escape that. And you reach this point where you're like, it has to get better, because I can't live like this. And luckily for me, those feelings don't last that long. Like, they come and go, and I can shake them. But I was thinking after the fact, like when I had that moment, it was like, it scared me, because I realized, what if that feeling didn't go away? What if it wasn't a roller coaster and it was just a constant, dark place like that? And then, like I got it. Like I understood how a person could seemingly have a good life, seemingly have things going for them, but just be in a place where, I I don't really know how to explain it. And I don't know why I really want to talk about it, other than, you know, I've said many times that these videos sometimes are my therapy. And so maybe that's it. And I don't know if I'll ever talk about this again. It is, you know, it's not the easiest thing to talk about, because nobody wants to admit that they have a problem like that, even though, you know, the brain is no different than any other part of your body. You know, if I had something going on with my lungs or my heart or my liver, you know, I'd go and get that took care of. It just so happens that these problems are in my brain. And people are hesitant to admit that. And so maybe just by me talking about it, maybe there's somebody out there that's kind of dealing with some of this same stuff. And I just encourage you, man, don't fight it by yourself, because you just can't. You know, you need to get help, and that's what I'm trying to do, because I want to be the best version of myself, the best husband, the best dad that I can be. And so I'm willing to do what I need to do to get that lined out, you know, to be able to face whatever it is that's making me like this. Another reason I think that I'm hesitant to talk about it is because I know, because of my religious views, there's always going to be people who are like, well, obviously your problem is you need God. And it's already happened. Not as much as I thought it would, but it has already happened. Where somebody's like, well, maybe that's what it is. The problem with that is this affects everybody. I know people in church. I know people, you know, tons of people in church that are dealing with these same things, these same problems. This affects, you know, this affects everybody. And so I'm not going to let people try to put that on me, and I'm not going to worry about the people that do try to put that on me. Because I don't care. No matter what I'm going through, I still got enough common sense to read the Bible and see it's bullshit. So, yeah, you're not going to win with that argument. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a video and explain that. Kind of let people know what's been going on. I've made several videos since my last video, and I've deleted most of them. I may have a couple short ones that I'll look at later that were just, you know, didn't have anything, that was just, I don't know, they're junk, but I may post them later. So if you see any short couple minute long videos or something, maybe that, you know, I'll find them. But I made some that were long. Like, I made one that was like an hour long, where I tried to talk about this, and I spiraled into just a lot of side conversations and tried to talk about other things that was bothering me that just, I didn't really feel it I needed to talk about, at least not right now. And nothing personal, it was just, I was talking about, you know, I ain't even going to get into it. But anyway, I rambled on for like an hour, and I ended up just deleting the video. But, so, I'm going to try to make this one not as long, just kind of get to the point. That's what it is. There ain't a whole lot of point to this video, other than if you are going through any of the things like I am, like I just talked about, you know, talk to somebody about it, get some help. Go to your doctor, you know, get professional help, because there's people out there that can help you. And maybe this is something I talk about going forward in my journey of trying to get better, and maybe it's something I'll never bring up again. I don't know. Like, get back to just making fun videos, or, you know, just talking about, you know, whatever. I will say, if you guys got any ideas of things you'd like me to talk about, you can put it in the comments or something. because I do sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I get burnt out talking about religion, talking about, you know, just like debating, you know, kind of debating religion, and like, here's why I don't believe it. You know, you get to a point where you feel like you've said everything you can say about it. So maybe there's other topics we could tackle and talk about, and if you know, if you think of something you can put in there. Anyway, that's it. Sorry for an awkward video, but I appreciate everybody that has that sit through this, everybody that's watched my videos in the past and supported me in any way. I appreciate it. I apologize for the long absence, and I'll try to do better in the future. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you later.